Hi guys, and welcome back to another ASMR true crime episode or video case. Today I'm going to be trying some soft spoken instead of whispering, because before you guys found it like tingly, so I'm going to try my best. But some of these cases make me angry, so I'll try and keep my voice to a level, but it's difficult when you cover cases where these murderers or whatever are just so annoying, or the case is annoying and they don't get justice or something like that. It's just hard to yeah. But anyway, let's get into it. So today we're actually going to be talking about the case of a TikTok star who is basically a monster, who is just so evil and so egotistical, just narcissist, just the lowest of the lowest scum. But anyway, let's get into it. So this is the shocking crimes of TikTok star Ali Abdulaban. So who was Ali Abdulaban? Well, he was a US soldier who was stationed in Japan when he first laid eyes on a Japanese beauty of Filipino descent, who introduced herself as Anna Marie. Decided then and there to win her heart by any means necessary, the 22-year-old used his considerable charm to sweep the woman of his dreams off his feet. After a whirlwind courtship, the pair then married in 2015. Realising that there was no future for them in Japan, the couple settled temporarily in Ali's home state of Virginia, while they pondered their next move. As it turned out, that move would be parenthood. A year after their nuptials, the couple welcomed a baby daughter into their lives. A natural-born comedian with a knack for doing spot-on impersonations of celebrities, Ali began showcasing his talents on various social media platforms under the pseudonym of Jin Kid. Before long, he had amassed thousands of followers who couldn't get enough of his over-the-top brand of humour. While he was by no means a household name just yet, the success he had achieved in a relatively short span of time convinced him that he could be the next big thing if he put his mind to it. The way he saw it, the only thing holding him back was the distance between him and Hollywood, believing that the key to becoming a superstar was waiting for him in California. In February of 2021, he and his newly formed family headed west, where fame and ultimately tragedy awaited. Thanks to the considerable earnings they were raking in as social media influencers, Ali and Anna were able to afford an apartment in the Spire San Diego complex, a luxury high-rise situated in the heart of the city. Videos posted on their respective channels during that period showed a happy couple who seemed to be on top of the world. Their 5-year-old daughter was often well featured as well, rounding out the picture of a family who genuinely enjoyed being together. In truth, much like most things portrayed online, the images depicted in their posts bore little resemblance to reality. Although they put up a united front, those close to the pair would later recall that they were as different as night and day. Whereas Ali was a bit of a loner, Anna was a social butterfly who made friends easily. The words most commonly used in relation to Ali were entitled and snobbish. Anna, on the other hand, was described as sweet. While her friends couldn't say enough good things about her, they struggled to find any redeeming qualities in her spouse, whom they saw as a manipulative control freak who wanted to keep his wife all to himself. Which, to be honest, if your friends say this about someone you're with, if it's like a majority of friends, I'm not just saying if it's one or two, like if it's a majority of people and most of them are saying that, even your family and your parents are saying that, then there's definitely something, there's a red flag. Like, you should listen to them. Because usually that's the case, that sometimes we can't see what other people can see. We sort of have our rose-coloured glasses on when it comes to love sometimes, or even just friendships. Like, we can just see the good in people sometimes and be totally, do you know what I mean, not really seeing what's actually going on for what it is. On the rare occasions when Anna was permitted to participate in a girls' night out, Ali would light up her phone constantly, keeping track of her every move. Though they didn't know for certain, Anna's inner circle began to wonder if perhaps she was trapped in an abusive relationship with no easy means of escape. The realisation that his wife was gaining a sense of independence, due in part to her supportive friends and growing status as a content creator in her own right, wore on Ali's fragile psyche. Aware that his hold on Anna was slowly slipping away, he turned to drugs and alcohol to soothe his troubled mind. Unfortunately, those components, coupled with his already volatile temper, were a recipe for disaster. Because obviously, as we know, when we have someone who's already angry without the influence of anything else, if you top that up with someone having alcohol and drugs, like, obviously alcohol can make us happy and rowdy and confident, but sometimes it can just exacerbate, like say if someone's in a bad mood, or if they're getting into a bad mood while drunk, it can just really heighten up that fact, basically, and just make it 1,000 times worse. And the same with the drugs as well, not all, calm you down or relax you. Illustrating his downward spiral, during a live broadcast in 2021, Ali could be heard verbally abusing his wife, who remained out of camera range throughout the tirade. Clearly under the influence of something, he had raged at Anna, calling her a effing, among other things. Over and over again, he told his followers, who were watching the scene unfold in real time, that she was ungrateful, who had used him to obtain a green card.
Taking away my whole life. I got a top secret clearance to try and that up.
Prosecutors played a TikTok video in court. They say the defendant, Ali Abulaban, broadcast live from he and Anna's apartment while she was on the phone with police in the months leading up to her death.
Talk to me. I'll bring you to San Diego for what? So you can run to your friends?
He had conveniently left out the part where he had relentlessly pursued her, not the other way around. Which is just awful, because it's like, the fact that this guy is doing this while live as well, it's absolutely disgusting. Shockingly, the vast majority of comments left by his loyal fans supported his position. When he informs them that his wife is on the phone with the police, they assure him that even if he is hauled off to jail, he'll be out by morning, which is absolutely insane. I'm not sure if the majority of his fans were male, but it doesn't surprise me, no offence. But the fact that people were, even after he called her all these abusive names and literally was clearly being abusive towards his wife on a live, and people in the comments were basically backing him up, saying, oh, he's going to get out of jail, be fine, his wife's just making a big scene and it's all going to be, and basically painting her as the bad guy is just, and like basically making him out to be the victim, which even though he probably already feels that, the comments are just making it worse because they're sort of like, what's the word? They're sort of like confirming that he is a victim and she's the abusive one. Which, when we see manipulators and narcissistic people, this is usually the case. They turn it around on you and make you out to be the one who's causing a scene, the ones who's being abusive, when actually it's the other way around. But they're just offloading their behaviour onto the other person. They also comfort him by saying that he doesn't deserve that kind of treatment, painting Anna as a bad guy, even though she is clearly the one under attack. One keyboard warrior went so far as to refer to her as a snitch for calling 911. And then it's like, if victims or if females want to, you know, contact people regarding being in an abusive situation, they feel like they can't speak out because there's people like this who are just... In another video posted at around the same time, Ali could be seen brazenly snorting cocaine and guzzling down alcohol. Though some of his fans encouraged him to get help, others ate it up. He would later issue an apology for his poor judgment, but it wouldn't be necessary. Had it been necessary. To his hundreds of thousands of followers, he could do no wrong. In October of 2021, Anna had gone to the apartment across the hall and asked the residents to call 911. She claimed that her husband had struck her in front of their young daughter and she needed help. She explained that she would have called herself, but he had confiscated her phone. By the time the police arrived, things had cooled down and Ali talked his way out of this situation. Even though he waved a gun around and had even encouraged his daughter to hold the weapon, he was allowed to stay in the home as if nothing had happened. I'm sorry, but where the hell are the social services? Where are they at? Because as the police, I know like you're probably not to do with that, but you should be contacting the social services, because if, I don't care who it is, whether it's a friend, whether it's the kids, mother, father, anyone, he's literally just said to his freaking 5-year-old daughter to handle a weapon and nothing is done about it, and he gets to stay there. How is he safe for that child? How is he allowed to be around that child, or even his wife for that matter? Later that month, Anna mustered up the courage to ask for a divorce. No longer able to withstand the various forms of abuse she was being subjected to on a daily basis, she knew she had to get out of the marriage, both for her sake and that of her daughter. While her friends, who had grown increasingly worried for her safety in recent weeks, were relieved that she would no longer be under the same roof as Ali. Her decision only fueled the fire already burning inside the man she once loved. To everyone's surprise, Ali seemed to take the news with uncharacteristic restraint. Seemingly accepting of the fact that the union had run its course, he agreed to move out until the paperwork was finalised. Ali ended up securing a room at an upscale hotel not far from his former residence. Unbeknownst to Anna, however, He had made a copy of her door key, allowing him to come and go at the apartment as he pleased. The separation had barely begun when Ali started calling and messaging Anna night and day. Hoping for a clean break, she chose to ignore his attempts to reach her rather than playing into his hands. Though she had prayed that her ex would move on with his life, it soon became obvious that he would never willingly let her go. Ali's cousin recalled sitting down with him and explaining that he needed to get his act together and accept the fact that the marriage was over. Amen. This cousin is the type of people that need to be just involved and like checking him. This is what needs to happen, not people backing him. When it was suggested that he forget about Anna and move on, Ali had rejected the notion, stating that he would never let anyone else have her. Which is, if someone says that, it's just, to me, it's pretty much a threat. Like, I would take that as a threat. I know people can just say things out of anger or hurt or whatever, but saying that is like, normal people just don't say that. Like, you just don't say something like that. Like, it's just so sinister. The same cousin also recounted that Ali's ego had become so inflated by his taste of success that he would boast to anyone who would listen that he was Jinn Kid and could get away with anything. Apparently, in his mind, the offences that fell under that umbrella of impunity included cold-blooded murder. 3 days after moving out of the apartment, Ali let himself in while Anna was out running errands and their daughter was at school. He then spent the morning vandalising the home they once shared. Before leaving, he installed a device on his daughter's iPad that would enable him to eavesdrop on conversations taking place inside the residence. He had also taken the time to call Anna to let her know that he had paid a visit. Though he hadn't threatened her outright, his ill intentions were implied. So, not only does this guy make a key, even though they're supposed to be separating, he also vandalises his wife and daughter's home, which, as a kid, that would be terrifying. It's terrifying for an adult, but that would be terrifying for a little kid to go home and see all this happening, because they'd just be so confused. It would literally just make you think you've been burgled. But the fact that he then says and texts his wife implying that he has done this, is like letting her know that he still has control over her, and that if she does anything that he doesn't like, you know, these are the consequences. So he's basically like saying that this is how far he can go, this is what he can do. Wary of what might be happening for her when she got home, Anna asked a friend, 29-year-old Rayburn Aidenus Barron, to tag along for both protection and much needed moral support. Though Anna didn't know it, her ex was listening in as she and Rayburn entered the dwelling. When he heard them talking and laughing, his blood boiled. Grabbing one of his guns he kept at the ready, he made a beeline to the apartment at Spire, San Diego. Which, again, she's not even seeing this guy. I think they're literally just friends, and it's like... And it usually screams insecurity as well, big insecurity, if you can't be friends with the opposite sex and be in a relationship, do you know what I mean? And you can't have friends as the opposite sex, because it just screams insecurity that you're supposed to like trust that person, and at the end of the day, they're getting a divorce. So to be honest, it shouldn't really matter. Like, it's none of his business anymore, quite frankly. Barging in unannounced, he found his estranged wife and her friend seated on a couch, deep in a conversation. Without saying a word, he had opened fire. Rayburn was hit 3 times, while Anna sustained a single lethal shot to the face.
The day of the shooting, he heard her talking with a man, so he returned to the apartment. Prosecutors say he ran off the elevator, went inside, and shot his wife, 28-year-old Anna Abulaban, and her friend Rayburn Barron.
He immediately fired 6 rounds from his firearm. First, he shot Rayburn Barron 3 times. The bullets entered his neck, his cheek, and the back of his head at close range. And then he fired at his wife, leaving 1 gunshot wound.
Just after 3 p.m, Ali phoned 911 to report that he had found 2 people deceased at his wife's apartment, but stressed that he was not the one responsible for their deaths. After hanging up, he picked his daughter up from school, explaining to her that Mummy couldn't make it because he had hurt her. I can't, I've got no words. It's like, he couldn't, like, he didn't even sugarcoat it to his daughter. He literally said, oh yeah, I hurt her. And it's like, she's like 5. And the fact that this guy's like, oh yeah, I didn't do it, even though I found them, and it looks really suspicious, and it's me who's about to divorce her finding her with another man. Yeah, that doesn't look suspicious. That I just found them 2 deceased, and I'm just calling to let you know that it wasn't me. Like, not nearly as savvy a criminal as he made himself out to be, Ali was apprehended not long afterwards by law enforcement officers who had tracked his cell phone. After learning that the building security cameras had captured images of him entering and leaving his wife's unit at the time of the murders, Ali decided to come clean. To add to the case against him, a telephone conversation he shared with his mother shortly after his arrest, in which he confessed killing Anna, had been recorded. In spite of this glaringly obvious evidence of guilt, Ali, who was seemingly incapable of telling the whole truth, had glossed over many of the details of the shooting in order to portray himself in a more sympathetic light. So again, he's playing the victim, even though his beautiful, gorgeous, strong, kind wife lost her life to this man. He's a victim, apparently. Yeah, again, painting her out to be the abusive one. And it's like, in his version of events, he had walked in and found his wife and Rayburn sharing a passionate kiss, because that makes it all the better. So basically he's saying it's like a crime of passion. In the heat of the moment, he had shot them both in a jealous rage. From his point of view, it had been a justifiable crime of passion. Case closed. Literally what I just said, making it out to be just a spur of the moment. But to be honest, it was premeditated, because at the end of the day, he literally picked up that gun. He had this gun waiting with him for ages. He had it before even this day. He literally let his daughter hold this weapon. he had it with him and then he brought it to his wife's apartment knowing that she was there with Rayburn. The fact that he had come to the apartment with gun in hand cast doubt on his claims that his actions had been spur of the moment. He also fudged over the part where he and Anna were in the process of divorcing, freeing her up to date whomever she pleased. Amen. It's none of his business no more. I get, maybe, if he wanted to make sure that this guy was, okay to be a dad to his daughter, but it's like, I'm sure he can be a better dad to your daughter than you, because you literally murdered her mum and then handed his daughter the weapon. Like, pretty sure the average Joe can be a better father than he can, or husband. Anna's friends were devastated by the horrible act of violence that had taken the young mother from those she loved and who loved her in return. They were also quick to defend her against Ali's claims that she had cheated on him during their marriage.
She's bruised from her left side of her face, from her eye down to her lip.
Anna's best friend Julia Stuns testifying that 3 months before her murder, she saw injuries on Anna's face.
And I told her, what happened? What happened? And she said that her and Ali were laying in bed and they got into an argument and he got on top of her and he just hitting her and kept hitting her and kept hitting her.
Those who had witnessed the couple's relationship crumble from afar contended that Ali was the one who had slept around, not Anna. Yet again, clear manipulator, clear narcissist. Putting the blame all on Anna, making her be out to be this cheating wife when she literally can't even defend herself anymore. When you took her life and you're still trying to portray her as this horrible person. They alleged that after assuming the Jinkid alter ego, he had turned into quite the playboy, bedding women right and left. Though Anna suspected her husband was being unfaithful, she had tried to make the marriage work until it became clear that it was damaged beyond repair. Ali was subsequently charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Since more than one person was killed, prosecutors have the option of seeking the death penalty. He has pleaded not guilty. Of course he has.
The jury in the above entitled cause find the defendant, Ali Nasser Abulaban, guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree.
Currently, the former internet sensation is being held without bail due to his status as a flight risk. During pre-trial hearings, Ali displayed a shocking lack of self-awareness, often shouting at witnesses as they recounted the events on the day of the murders. When a detective speculated that Anna and Rayburn had been involved in an intimate relationship, the accused killer had unleashed a string of expletives. Through crocodile tears, he yelled words to the effect that he did what he had to do to protect his honour. You don't have no honour. None. Not an ounce of honour. His uncontrolled outbursts, dripping with vitriol, had given courtroom observers a glimpse of what Anna had been subjected to in the months leading up to her death.
Slapping.
Her friends?
Slapping Anna.
I would never do that in public. I never did that.
But what were you thinking?
I was freaking out. Oh my God, I caught her. Oh my God. There's a man. And then guess what? I hear nightmare. R&B music. I'm trying. I was like, don't infect Anna. I'm like, don't do it. I'm screaming.
As you're driving to the apartment, could anyone else have Anna? Could anyone else have Anna?
which I'm kind of glad that he's showing this side, because it's letting them know that, yeah, this is what that poor woman and his daughter had to endure before he took her life. At one stage of the proceedings, the judge ordered a recess to give Ali time to regain his composure. While that might work with some defendants, it accomplished nothing in this case. With testimony resumed, so did the constant interruptions, illustrating that Ali believed that rules didn't apply to him. He may find out differently on January the 8th, 2024, the date when his trial is scheduled to get underway. As the investigation continues, more information has surfaced detailing the turmoil in the Abulaban's marriage. Police records revealed that officers had been called to the residence 9 times between July and October of 2021. In each instance, the disputes were settled on the spot with no arrests being made, which again shows the police could have done more, and so could the social services, which weren't even involved, which I don't understand how they have not been involved, because it just doesn't make any sense at all. Then again, it's probably different in America, I don't know. Whether or not Ali's fame, such as it was, put him on a pedestal so high that he truly believed he could get away with anything remains to be seen. Perhaps his unchecked ego was indeed the catalyst for murder. It's also possible that Anna's best friend was spot on in her analysis that he was simply a bad guy. In the end, it will be up to a jury to decide. If nothing else, this tragedy drives home the point that celebrities, social media stars included, are rarely what they seem. Anyone in doubt need only watch the videos of Ali and Anna dancing, laughing and showering each other with affection to know that the old saying is true. Believe only half of what you see and none of what you hear. I'm going to see if there's any more information, because obviously January was 4 or 5 months ago, so I'm going to go and see if there is any information, and if there is, then I'll let you guys know. Okay, so I've just searched it up, and apparently a jury of 12 decided the fate of the former TikTok star Ali Abulaban, and he's been found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder of both Anna Abulaban and Rayburn Barron. 14-day trial began on May the 1st, so it's literally like a month ago. His sentencing is scheduled for June the 28th at 9 a.m. He faces life in prison without the possibility of parole, which I hope, he doesn't deserve to get out. He's literally a narcissistic manipulator who thinks he's above the law, and obviously this proves that he's not, but he just can't control his anger at all. Like, he's just so not self-aware, and he's such a in my eyes, he's such a danger to society, because it's like he literally gets angry at like anything that tries to stop him and be in his way, like if he doesn't get his own way and stuff. And for me, it's just, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, he does not deserve to be out with the public, because it's just terrifying to think otherwise. That is the end of today's case. Thank you guys for watching, as always. Hope you guys enjoyed this soft spoken, and yeah, let me know what you think of it.